Hey everybody, this is Jeremy Siskind here. I'm the author of the Jazz Piano Fundamentals books. Currently, there's 2 of them. Someday, I think there's going to be 3. But if you want a 3rd book, so playing solo jazz piano is about as good as it gets. And today I want to do something kind of unusual for my YouTube channel, for those of you who have been following, which is I'm going to do something closer maybe to a tutorial of how to play a specific thing than talking about a concept or how to improvise, although I'm sure there will be some of that along the way. I've been working on playing some of Wayne Shorter's tunes in a solo piano concept, and I thought that we would tackle the tune Footprints. And this is kind of an interesting tune to tackle. It's most people would consider it like a modal version of the blues, but it's interesting to tackle because it's based around a bass line. Right? There's this kind of very famous bass line. And whenever we have a bass line, solo piano, that kind of leaves us a little bit stuck in terms of our left hand. We usually can't do a lot more in the left hand because the left hand has to play that bass line the whole time. So I wanted to show you kind of how I've been working out playing this tune in a solo piano style despite that challenge and how to overcome that challenge. So a couple things about Footprints. It's by Wayne Shorter. It's in 3/4. It's in what we would generally consider a blues form. Usually it's notated. If it's notated as 3/4, it's like a double blues. It's like 24 measures instead of 12. But I think most people listening to it really perceive it as a blues form. But it's a modal blues, meaning that we're not kind of using our normal dominant 7th and blues scale as we play this. We're using here much more of a Dorian palette. So we're going to be using a lot of C Dorian. So let's jump in, let's see what happens. I've got the chart up here just in case you want, and I don't think we're going to be using it very much. So we're going to give this more of an ethereal feel. It's going to be a little bit spacier. And so watch my left hand here. These are the first 3 notes of that famous Footprints bass line. I'm playing it an octave higher than a bass player would. A bass player would probably play it down here. But I'm playing it starting on C3, the C below middle C. I'm going to use a little pedal, and I'm going to let my hand drift up to this voicing. So the idea here is that E flat is the next note in the bass line. So it's covering the bass line melodically, but we're getting this really beautiful, moody, rich voicing that has the 9th, the 3rd, and the 7th. And so we're going to be doing a lot of moving between these 2 positions. Here, and then there. Okay, so your basic bass line is going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can feel free to kind of mix up how you're getting back into that tonic note. It could be do, bo, do, or just bo, do. But you just have to be fast about moving positions while you hold the pedal down. So let's just do that a few times. 1, ready, and... One more time. Awesome. And you can vamp on that for an introduction and play anything using the C Dorian mode. I think many of you watching this are familiar with the C Dorian mode, but those are the notes of the B flat major scale starting on C. And one thing we could do is we could take this shape of a step on bottom and a 5th on top, and we could try moving that different places within the mode. Check it out. do anything you want within the mode. You could play scales, you know, your little flurries. Trills. Triads. Seventh chords. Intervals like fifths or fourths. Right, those are fourths. One kind of cool thing you could do is you could use the B flat pentatonic scale. That kind of sparkles in a slightly different way. Okay, so play around with that vamp, that introduction vamp, as long as you want, and then the main melody is going to come in. The great news is that your left hand accompaniment part doesn't have to change a bit. So I've got the melody written out here. It's a pretty simple melody. The one thing that you have to know pianistically is I would definitely start on your fourth finger for the B flat, and then it'll be your thumb, and then cross over. Actually, I use two. I do 1 and then just 2, 1. Like as you play this melody, you do want to make a decrescendo between the D and the C. And it's very typical for people to repeat that last bar with the kind of da-dum, and to also to add that in the second and fourth bars where you rest. So here's what that's gonna look like as I play it for you. Do it one more time. And I like to let the melody float a little bit. So I'm going to be changing the rhythm a little bit just to like make it a little bit more ethereal. Cool. If you feel like it, you could play it an octave up. And then the echoes could be an octave down. Great, easy enough. Then we gotta move our little bass line up a fourth. So we're gonna be starting on F. We're gonna go 1, 2, 1. Move your hand, and now our chord is G, A flat, and E flat. Same voicing, right? It's still the 9th, 3rd, and 7th of the chord. Just up a fourth. And now we repeat that melody one more time. I kind of liked it in that bell-like upper range, so. Except there's a little tail to it. By tail, I mean that there's just kind of additional material after we would expect it to end. And again, it's very common to repeat that sighing D, C in that measure that I just highlighted green here. So let me show you now these first 16 bars. I don't know which octave I'm gonna play it in, I'm still deciding. So now I'm gonna move up. Moving up. Then I'll do that one more time for you. Feel free to play along if you feel like it. I'm experimenting a little bit with some things in the right hand. You can move things an octave up, an octave down, add a little harmony, whatever you see fit. So here we go. Yeah, if you felt like I went off script in the second half, it's because I did. I don't expect you to do the same thing that I did, but just having a little fun. All right, and then we get to the weirdest part of this all. I think there's a healthy debate in the jazz community about what the correct chords are for this next part, but most people agree with what the real book says here, which is that we kind of are going down by half step from F sharp to E. What's so strange about this progression is that it really looks like it should go to D minor, E to A. We're going through the circle of fifths here. E, A would normally lead to D, but it doesn't. It kind of skips from E to A. It skips the D and G and then just goes directly to C minor. So what I want to do is we're going to play what people often refer to as shell voicings, the root, third, and seventh. We're just going to separate them out because they're kind of big reaches. So for this F sharp half diminished, playing an F sharp on bottom, then the seventh and third. For the F7, F on bottom, seventh and third. For the E, E on bottom, seventh and third. And then the A, we'll play all together. Root, third, seventh. So it's bo, ah, bo, ah, bo, ah. And then you go back to it. Do you hear how the chord progression doesn't exactly flow the way you would expect it? And in terms of rhythm, I'm not too particular. It could either be like one, or it could be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But I think it's kind of nice to just rest on that A7. The melody here. So you want to start on your third finger on the B natural, and that's going to allow you to do all that without moving. In this last bar, what I like to do, I've got my 1 on the G, I put 5 on the C, so that requires you to scrunch up your hand a little bit, and then I put 3 on the next G's. So it's like a little finger substitution, so that my hand starts sliding over so I can accommodate all those notes. So watch the right hand. Okay, so here we go. 2 hands together. And as soon as we get there, we start our groove again. Let's do that again, last 8 bars. Last time, or one more time, last 8 bars. Here we go, and all right, let's see if we can play this whole thing. So we'll start with the intro. Here we go, melody, 4th finger. Here's your echoes. I'm gonna go even an octave up. F minor. One more echo. Here's your F sharp. One more time, top. good solo over the form. Alright everybody, thanks for watching my first ever attempt at something like a tutorial. I don't know. Is that what a tutorial is? Maybe. I hope that you get some joy out of playing Footprints. If you enjoyed this, you might enjoy checking out some of my books, particularly the Jazz Piano Fundamentals series. And if you watched all the way to the end, comment with the word fundamentals in the comments. Thanks for watching everyone.